You get up and go here in the F-Pace. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over the all-new 2021 Jaguar F-Pace S finished in BlueFire Blue. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Jaguar here in downtown Salt Lake for giving me some time with this F-Pace S. Check out the inventory link below. Let's get right into the video. Under the hood of the F-Pace, we have a supercharged and turbocharged 3-liter inline-6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 20 around town and then 27 on the highway, with power outputs being 335 horsepower and then 354 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go to the front end of the new F-Pace. So again, this is finished in BlueFire Blue. I just love the name of that color, and I love the look of this color. So you can see here in the sunlight, just a beautiful metallic flake. It's a really nice, deep blue, and depending on how the light hits it, notice that it kind of has different color gradients. Just a really nice paint color. Coming down below, we still get the full LED lights. Notice the accent lights around all of those. And then we've got parking sensors here along the front. Get the signature Jaguar logo there on the front end. And I really like this design touch here with these here in the grille. I think it's just a nice look right there. And then notice that they did the silver accenting just down below and then here at the bottom as well, just to kind of break things up from an aesthetic perspective. But that's everything for the front end. Now coming on the side here, we've got two 65mm tires wrapped around 21-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear, and this has a pretty interesting piece of technology. It has torque vectoring by braking, which I think is just, I don't know, I think that's pretty cool. But I love the design here on the wheels, and just look how large the rotors there are with the front set. Remember, these are 21-inch wheels. Those rotors are as big as some cars have in terms of their wheels. And then notice you've got the silver accenting there and then along the side as well, again, just to break things up, and it matches with the design there of the wheels. And other than that, here is your full side view on the new F-Pace. Now let's go to the back end of the F-Pace. So first off, they have a cargo cover already built in, and it's connected to the rear hatch, so it lowers down when you lower down the rear hatch. You get Jaguar coat hangers, which, I mean, these things are probably worth a ton of money because they've got the Jaguar logo on it. I think that's pretty neat. It comes with the car. And then you've got the rubber floor covering here in the back, and then underneath this is the spare tires just under the floor. You just have to pull that strap up, and then the spare will be just under there. And then you do get a 12-volt here in the back on top of that. And other than that, that's everything for the rear. So let's close her up. Now let's go over the rest of the rear and start off with the taillights. So they kind of have done similar design language to what the old F-Pace had, but notice they've modernized the LEDs so they look a whole lot sharper. And then again, you've got your Jaguar logo, your F-Pace badge, all of that, again, finished in chrome to kind of accent all of these silver pieces. The exhaust tips also in chrome. Parking sensors here along the rear with the receiver hitch there at the bottom. And then I love how they blacked out the shark fin there at the very top. But other than that, there's your view of the rear. Now let's go over the door panel here in the rear. So first off, you got the leather here at the top, and then notice how they've done a complete contrast between the black here, and then you've got the white leather there at the bottom. Just looks really nice from an aesthetic perspective. And then you've got the white stitching window controls, which I love the actuation on them. And then you've got the Meridian surround sound system. You've got the speaker here and then just down below. And then notice this whole accent piece that goes across. And then here are the seats in the back. Design-wise, these just absolutely pop, and I love the theme with the white against the blue. Just looks really nice. But coming back to these seats, you've got the full leather, and then notice you've got the quilted design here with the perforated leather there in the center portion, and then it continues all the way down. And let's actually pop in and see what it's like. So step in height, really good. You pretty much just slide right across. Headroom is solid. I'm 5'11". There's my legroom, and then they give you a storage net on the back of the seat. Got a couple of vents here for the rear passengers, a bunch of areas where they can charge devices. And then this pulls down to be a couple of cup holders. But yeah, overall, the back seat area just looks and feels really nice. Now here's a door panel in the front. So again, they continue the leather here and then all the way down below with the white leather. So again, you still get the contrast here at the front, and then the really nice trim, and then more speakers for that Meridian sound system. Your door lock and unlock. The memory seats are kind of hiding right there at the top. And then we've got our window controls down below. And then here are the seats at the front. So again, beautiful from an aesthetic perspective. I love the quilted design here in the perforated section. And then notice your power adjustments there on the side of the seat, and then the Jaguar plaque. Got the pedal layout there at the bottom. That is to open up the hatch. And then even here on the side where you don't really need leather, they added leather and then nice metallic trim as well. But there's one more look before we pop in. This has to be one of the best looking steering wheels that I've ever seen in a car. It's just so beautifully designed. You've got the contrast between the black and the white there first and foremost. And then notice you've got all your controls here in the center stack for normal stuff like your cruise control, your voice command phone controls. And then you've got the black trim there at the bottom. And then notice how the stitching, they kind of crisscross with some white stitching and some black stitching. Like the contrast is just insane on this, and the attention to detail is really nice. But yeah, the overall design is perfect. I love the shape and feel of the paddles here on the back. A huge upgrade from the previous generation. And then you got the stock there for the turn signal / lights, windshield wiper stock on the other side, and well, enjoy this view. Here's the center screen. First off, you've got the speed over on the left side. On the right side, you've got the RPMs, and then you do have some different screens you can scroll through here in the center just to give you different bits of information here on the F-Pace. It literally shows you any bit of information you can want to know. Vehicle information, you can go to like the music, all that kind of stuff. Like, again, anything you want to know information wise is in this center stack, and I think it looks nice how they have a full kind of digital readout there now. The steering wheel adjustment is over here on the right side. It's really easy to use. You just basically pull the lever up and down, press it forward or backwards. It's all automated, and that's all for that. Now down below here, this is probably my favorite part of the F-Pace, and that is how they've done the climate system with the vehicle. So notice that you've got the push-pull designations right here. So if we push in, it'll go to the seat, and then you can control the heated or ventilated seat function right there. And then if you pull, it'll go to the fan speed, and then you control the fan speed with that. And then once it sets back to normal, then you obviously can control the temperature as well on either side, which I don't know, I just think that's cool how they've integrated all of that with it. And then notice there is a wireless phone charger there at the bottom portion. But yeah, that just all looks really nice. Now here's a shifter for the 8-speed automatic transmission. So first off, you push it up for reverse, and then you pull it all the way down for drive, and then you pull it down again for that shift mode. And then notice that if you want to go into neutral, you just kind of like very slightly push it up, so you don't push it up as hard as you would for reverse, and then you just push the button in for park. And then this is just to turn on the radio, so you just push that down, which I can't do because copyright reasons. We push that down, and then that'll turn the radio, and then you scroll it up and down for the volume once the radio is turned on. So these controls right here are kind of hard to see. You've got the off-road cruise control and then the stability control. And then we do have the drive mode select, which press that. It's cool that it pops up like a dial. And then this will all be here in the center screen. So you can go through the different drive modes, and they actually change the whole screen setup. So for example, if we go into eco mode, notice it'll be kind of like a calm gray screen. And then the comfort mode does the same. Dynamic is your sport mode. It makes everything red and aggressive. I think that's cool that it changes. Benefit of using a digital gauge cluster setup. But yeah, really easy to use. And then when you're done changing the drive mode, you just press this back in, and then you're done. We have a couple cup holders here, and then we actually get a 12-volt charging station, and then you have some storage, which I've got the keys just sitting right there. Beautiful leather trim all the way up with the white contrasted stitching, and then notice there's more storage space just underneath. And then we do have a center console, which has some more USBs and another 12 volts inside of it. It's all lined with felt. And then coming over to the glove box area, notice we've got really nice stitching all across, and then here at the top with all of the leather. And then notice they continue the theme of the black with the white contrast, and notice how it all kind of goes in a line across the car. Really good from a design perspective. And then opening up the glove box, all lined with felts inside. And then I really like this piece of trim that goes, and just overall the whole dash layout looks really nice. Now here at the top, we do have a full panoramic sunroof. The controls for it are right here. If you lightly press it, it'll just barely move it. So if I just do that, it'll barely move it. But if you full on press it, then it'll make it move automatically. So I love how they have both features. A lot of sunroofs only do one or the other. This lets you do both. And then again, you've got a lighter colored headliner, so they kind of continue that theme where it goes from the white to the black to the white again here at the top. Now you guys can see we've got the sticker right here, again, BlueFire blue, and then I love how it's light oyster with ebony light / light oyster interior. Got a lot of oyster happening here. But notice that you've got all of the information here. I love how they give you not only engine information, but also the horsepower and torque outputs. But feel free to freeze a frame on any portion of this part of the video so you guys can see all of the exact equipment that this comes with. And then we can see the optional equipment that this particular F-Pace has as well. And then here's our full MSRP, $70,990 before any type of market adjustment. Let's take her out and see how she drives. Now let's talk about visibility here in the F-Pace before we set off. So first off, visibility over the hood, it's pretty easy to see out of it. Again, it's a very large windshield, and don't worry, that little hump there in the center just doesn't really get in the way. And then here's your visibility through both of the mirrors. You can see the rear haunches just look so beautiful. They've got blind spot monitoring with both of the mirrors, and then here's throughout the rest of the rear. Visibility is a little bit worse there in the back because of the design that they do, but you've got blind spot monitoring, so it's not really an issue. And that all being said, let's set off. Actually setting off with the F-Pace. First off, from a ride quality perspective, it's very smooth. Going over this road, you guys can see it's kind of beat up, but it doesn't upset the F-Pace whatsoever. It just has like this nice, smooth ride quality to it. And then in terms of the noise insulation, it's really nice here on the interior. It's not crazy loud or anything like that. Like, we're in a busy part of town. We're downtown Salt Lake, and you're gonna get a lot of noise in this area, but the cabin's very well insulated, and so it does a really good job from that perspective. And this does have the auto stop start, so notice here at the light, it obviously has everything shut off, which is nice. It kind of adds to the luxury experience. I love these paddles here, which actually we're going to pop it over into the dynamic mode here for when the light goes green. So now we're in the dynamic mode. Notice the gauges are all red and such, and then we'll pull it down so that we're in the S mode. And then notice right there that you can just pop it. You just have to press the paddle, you go into the manual mode. And then if you hold the paddle down, the plus paddle, it'll just pop it back into the automatic mode. So pretty easy to go from one system to the other. And I love the full digital display. It just looks really, really nice. Let's actually get up and go here in the F-Pace. The gear shifts are very, very seamless. I'm actually gonna pop it back into the automatic mode, so I'll just hold on to the paddle. It'll pop it into the automatic mode for me. It has an interesting sound. You hear a little bit of supercharger. You don't get nearly as much turbo noise. It's pretty minimal from a turbo noise perspective. I mean, you guys can listen again. You can definitely hear the supercharger just a little bit. Definitely cool hearing the inline six as well. I keep having to like scroll that dial. But yeah, definitely interesting from a noise perspective. It's super unique. So if you want a super unique noise, then the F-Pace is going to be the way to go. Aside from that, let's talk about some other stuff with the car from the driving experience perspective. In terms of the steering feel is very, very direct, feels really nice. I love the feeling of the steering in your hand, and I feel like these grips right here are in the perfect place because your thumbs can kind of just slot into this little place right here. And so then you kind of get like a comfortable position here with your thumbs from the steering perspective. And the paddles, the actuation on them is just perfect. The paddles feel really nice overall. And so yeah, from a driving experience perspective, it's just really solid so far. Let's get into summing things up here with the F-Pace. So first off, from an exterior aesthetics perspective, I feel like it's a really good looking vehicle on the outside. And then from an interior perspective, this interior is just absolutely beautiful. The steering wheel is just really nice. All the touch points feel and look really nice here on the interior. And then in terms of just like as an overall package, I think it's great. It's really easy to use everything. And on top of that, it's kind of like subtle with the changes, right? A lot of car companies will go crazy when they do a full redesign or refresh on a car, whereas they've just made a bunch of subtle changes to the F-Pace, and it's really worked to making the car just substantially nicer from the subtle changes. And I really like it because it still looks really good. The F-Pace, since it came out, I think has been just one of the best looking SUVs on the market. So you still have those really good looks. But then on top of that, it's a little bit easier to use. Everything in the interior, everything looks a little bit nicer. And so it's like, you still get this vehicle that has the cool aesthetics that Jaguar is known for, but then it has nicer technology as well. And so if you're thinking about getting a new F-Pace, I think it's worth it. And I would definitely check out this new version that has this turbocharged / supercharged inline six. Super unique from a sound perspective. Acceleration's wonderful on it. You get low end torque and then you get the turbo pull. So it just feels really unique overall. And yeah, I think this is awesome. There's not really anything else I can compare it to right now because it just had such a unique powertrain and driving experience. Now that's going to sum things up for our video on this 2021 Jaguar F-Pace S. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Jaguar here in downtown Salt Lake for giving me some time with this F-Pace S. Check out their inventory link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.